RWBY Volume 5, Episode 12, Vaults of the Spring Maiden. So, of course, the first thing to start off with is naturally, Weiss did not die. I figured that was going to happen. I mentioned in my last review. I didn't think she was going to die. There's no way they were going to kill Weiss off. And it was cool. We do get to see Jaune's semblance officially because, it's been said a million times. We technically already saw a semblance, but it was like, all right, well, is it this? Is it that? I thought it was cool. It is officially revealed that his semblance is what we got to see back in Volume 1 when, he was fighting the Cardin, I believe his name was, and he punches him, and then like this giant light comes off of him, and he doesn't have any scars or anything. So it is like a healing semblance, but not only can it be used to heal Jaune himself, but Jaune can also heal other people. So I thought that was really cool, and he can heal some pretty serious wounds as well, because of course she was like fully impaled, so he heals her wounds and everything. So I was like, all right, well that's definitely cool, and he can basically, regenerate people and save them from dying. So that was pretty awesome. We do officially get to see Jaune's semblance. It is kind of funny because it does make me think of, for those of you who haven't played like RWBY Grim Eclipse, in that his semblance is based on helping the rest of the team. Like he gives them like stat boosts and stuff like that. So I was like, it's kind of funny. It's not the same as the game where like they get stronger, but it is kind of a support based thing, which I thought was interesting. So he and Ren have like the support semblances where it's like healing and stealth, and then Nora's just like absolute powerhouse, and at the time Pyrrha was as well. But I thought it was really cool. I was like, all right, we officially get to see that. We get to see more crazy action, so that was really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing the continuation of Yang and Ruby going up against Emerald and Mercury, because that should be really awesome. I mentioned in my last review I wanted to see more of Yang versus Mercury, but she gets double teamed in this episode. Yang, Mercury and Emerald, team up on Yang, so she gets beat up a little bit. There was one scene where I swear they took that move straight out of Tekken. It was like Harang was in there, where Mercury was kicking Yang sideways. I was like, that is straight out of Tekken. Like he was just kicking the crap out of her. So I was like, okay, looks cool, but sucks it's happening to Yang. But I'm really looking forward to Yang and Ruby teaming up to take both of them down. So that should be fun in the next episode. But we get to see Oscar go up against Hazel, which was really cool, and then of course Ozpin takes over, and we find out that Hazel absolutely hates Ozpin, and it's because Hazel's sister went to train as a huntress, and she died during a training mission. So I thought that was really interesting, and we get to see Hazel utilize dust within his own body, which I thought was cool, which I knew there had to be something there because him being so strong, it's in the opening, but you can like see you can see veins like just right where the sleeves cut off. You can start to see veins. I was like, I know that has something to do with his powers, and it has more to do with him utilizing dust within his actual body, which I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever actually seen that. And outside of that, we've seen them, of course, Cinder's like the #1 dust user as far as like it's in her clothing and stuff like that. But I thought that was great, and that was something that I'm pretty sure they reference in like the World of Remnant episodes when they talked about dust and how it's used. I think they do reference that people have used it on themselves before. So it was definitely cool to see that. And I was like, I knew there had to be something, because I'm like, you can see like the veins sticking out of his arms. I was like, that could be a scar, but I was like, I feel like that has something to do with his power. And I'm pretty sure it does, because I don't know if his body is meant to handle that, because that's why his veins are all messed up, is because he keeps stabbing himself, and he like puts like dust directly into his body. I don't think his body's meant to handle that, but he's also oddly strong, so that could just be a part of his semblance, is that he has that durability, but then he uses dust to kind of combine the two, and then he's like a monster. So that was awesome. Like it was super funny too. I love the way they actually did the scene when Hazel realizes that Oscar is actually Ozpin, and so he yells, and everybody's like, oh, crap, Ozpin is here. And then Hazel's like ripping his shirt off, and they cut to Crow, and he's like, what is he doing? So I love the way they did that scene where Crow was just like super confused, like, why is he ripping his shirt off? But I thought that was so funny the way they had his face looking. But that was actually a really cool fight. Oscar was trying to do his own thing. He was trying to fight, and he gets the story from Hazel, or he gets the story from Ozpin, and he has to make the decision, like, all right, well, am I gonna let this guy, is his anger justified, or did his sister make a choice that unfortunately led to her death? So he's like, well, she chose to be a hero pretty much, and she died in the line of battle, and she made her decision, and so now I'm making mine. Unfortunately, Ozpin was like, yeah, you're just not good enough, and so he takes over. So we get a pretty cool fight sequence with them, and I actually thought it was really awesome. We have him, kind of doing the super speed a little bit at the part where he's like stabbing him with the staff. So I was like, that's really cool. But And he goes through, he's, constant battle. We get to see like a tiny bit of Crow actually fighting against Leo. And then he gets just, I thought, some people mentioned that Crow might actually die because of just how his character's been set up. Like somebody else has to die, it's probably going to be Crow. And I thought they were going to do it, honestly. The way he got punched, I was like, he could have just been split in half. Like he got punched so hard and he just bent like that. I was like, ugh. But I'm assuming he's fine. He just got hurt. But Hazel punched the crap out of him. And he just launched. Like, he just went off screen. I was like, I don't know what happened to him, but we never saw him the rest of the episode. That was it. But, you had to see a little bit of him fighting. And like I said, Oscar/Ozpin fighting was definitely cool. And, like, just the way everything was handled, I think, was definitely entertaining. So then going into the ending after we've had, Yang getting teamed up on and RWBY kind of, regains her composure. So she goes to help her sister out. We have, Jaune doing his thing to help Weiss. We have both Nora and Ren as like the support, which I wish we got to actually see, but I'm assuming we'll see that in the next episode, because I was like, I really want to see Ren fight, because we haven't seen it since the last volume. And that was in like a really crazy scenario. That wasn't like a human situation. They had to do like some very different fighting styles to deal with that. So I was like, man, I want to see him go back to just a hand-to-hand fight against someone, especially against Hazel. I think that would be cool to watch Ren do that because of his speed and the way that he uses his semblance, which we haven't seen in forever. But like in the first volume when he did like the force field thing, I would love to see that come back. So maybe we'll get a little bit of that in the next episode as they're kind of going towards the end of the fight and everything. But all the crazy action happens, everything like that. And then we have our trio of ladies, our villains. So we have Vernal, Cinder, and then, of course, like, the enigma that is Raven. And so they go down, and it's like, all right. And you go down to the vault and everything, and, it's like, Vernal has to go through, and it's like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do? It's like, you go up to the doors, and it's like, you touch it, it opens up. It'll only open up for the Spring Maiden. No big deal. I'll go in. That's it. So they get down there, and I'm not surprised at all, if I'm being totally honest. I think we pretty much all probably saw this coming. But they get to this point, and Raven's like, all right, I'm just going to step, it's like Vernal's up here, Cinder's in the middle. Raven's like, I'll just step back. So I got a full katana swing. And as she's reaching for the blade, Cinder's like, they said you were this, this, and this, and it's too bad they were wrong. And she freezes her. And I thought, in all honesty, that she was going to shatter. Because at first, when she's cracking, I was like, oh, she froze her and she's going to shatter, which really made me upset. Because I was like, we've barely gotten enough Raven, so I don't want them to do that. But she freezes her. And then Cinder stretches her arm out, which freaked me out. Because for a split second, when she stabbed Vernal and it was like this long stretch out black arm, I was like, has this been Salem in disguise the entire time? Which would have been an insanely awesome reveal. Well, I mean, they already had one anyway, but that would have been like absolutely crazy if they had like a double reveal where that was Salem. But when it was like the crazy stretched out arm, I was like, I thought it was like Salem in disguise, but it was just, Cinder using magic. So she stabs Vernal, and it's like, she's gonna take the power, which I thought that might be a possibility because it's Cinder, and villains always kill other villains. That's villains. So I was like, all right, we'll probably see her at least attempt to do it because, of course, why not? Like, we haven't been told that it can't happen. So she kills Vernal, or at least she stabs her. I mean, it seemed like she died to me. Like, she seemed fairly confident, and she dies. And it's like, what's going on? Like, where's the power? Like, what's happening here? And then we find out that Vernal was never the Spring Maiden. It was Raven, like, the whole time. And I mean, that's just crazy. I don't even understand how nobody knew that, because like everyone thought that it was really Vernal, because the whole thing was like, oh well, the Spring Maiden was this, and then she left, and like she took off, and so it's just like, I don't understand, like, was that true? Was she tricked the whole time? Was Vernal just like strong and that was it, and they thought she was the Maiden? Or were they always talking about Raven? Maybe, I mean, because they were fairly vague. They just said the Spring Maiden did this and then she left. So we always kind of assumed that it was Vernal, but even Crow didn't know that it was her, because he would have said that. They would have been like, my sister is the Spring Maiden. So I don't think anyone knew. So I don't know if this is some crazy new revelation that we should expect, where it's like they found a way to transfer a Maiden's power without killing her, or if somehow they just tricked everybody, and they, maybe Raven was always there when Vernal was doing whatever, and so she just used her power, and everybody thought that it was Vernal, and then she took off when Raven took off, because they just supported each other like that. So I don't know what to expect in the next episode, but that was a crazy freaking way to end it, where she was like, you won't find the power because Renal isn't, the Spring Maiden. She takes her mask off and she's got, like the red flames. And it's like, I am. And I was like, well, that is freaking cool. So I don't know what to expect in the next episode. I'm not 100% sure Cinder knows what to expect because I think she's screwed. I always thought Raven was better than her. And now that we know that she's on the same power level, I don't think Cinder really has much of an opportunity to survive at this point. That's just me personally. I think Raven has had more than enough training to take on Cinder, especially if they're at the same, magic level. I would assume Cinder's screwed, but I don't think they'll kill her because she's like, the face of the villains, and it's Cinder. So I don't think she'll die either. But I don't know how the heck this is going to play out in the next episode. But that's just a crazy reveal. I loved it. It was like, all right, well, it's sucks for Vernal if she is officially dead. Maybe they can get Jaune on her. But man, just like that's a crazy reveal. And then we still have to wait. If they do it in the next episode or the one after that, we still got to wait for everybody else to show up because we still don't have Blake versus Adam. We still don't have, anything going on there. Like, they're still traveling on the boat. So we still have to wait for them to show up. So this is just like, character battles. And then it's just going to be all out war with the White Fang in the next, 2 or 3 episodes. So it's just getting crazier and crazier. And it's like, well, we still have to wait for half an army to show up. So I don't know what to expect for these, like the actual finale. Like the last 2 episodes are probably going to be just ridiculous, but I'm super excited for next week's episode. Great freaking reveal. Like the last, obviously this one and of course the last one, like 2 great crazy cliffhangers for the episode. So going strong without a doubt. The new year for RWBY has just been intense, and I cannot wait to see this fight between 2 maidens, especially with the reveal that Raven is one of the maidens. So I don't even know what that means, like I said, as far as her powers already, and then just her training and skill and all that stuff. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to, like I said, Yang and RWBY versus Mercury and Emerald. I want to see them both get beat up, especially Mercury. It's mostly just because he's the guy, he likes to talk a lot. So it's like, Emerald I actually kind of like because she's like that calm character, but they're both bad guys. So it's like, just beat them both up. That's fine. I don't care anything about Leo. I don't think he's much of a challenge either. He got like 1 sneak hit in on Ozpin, and that was about it. So that was like his whole thing was a distraction pretty much. But really looking forward to next week's episode. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And naturally, insane reveal. Would love to know your theories on how it makes sense. Were they tricking everybody the whole time? Did they find a way to transfer the power without killing the Maiden? I would love to know your theories, and in general, just what you guys thought of the reveal. Like, are you happy that that's the case? Do you not care that that's the case? Because it's just crazy, no matter what. I think it's definitely good that Vernal wasn't the Maiden, because who knows, they pretty much would have been game over if Cinder had the ability of 2 maidens. So I just don't know what that means. And that's another reason I don't think they'll kill Cinder, because if Raven was the one to do it, then she would have, double the power. But they might need that to actually take out Salem. So it's one of those weird things where it's like, I could totally see it happening, but Cinder's kind of the face of the villains, plus Raven doesn't want anything to do with taking on Salem. But if she had the power of 2 maidens, maybe that would change up. So who knows? But I would love to know what you guys thought of the reveal at the end, and what you guys are thinking as far as theories, like how it makes sense, or how they tricked everybody into thinking that. And in general, I would love to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.